There's been a lot of back and forth politically between the BJP and the opposition over the Prime Minister's visit to the residence of the Chief Justice of India, D.Y. Chandrachud, to take part in a Ganesh Puja celebration. Let's try and make sense of this. Joining me now is Mahesh Jethmalani, senior advocate and also member of parliament in the Rajya Sabha. Thank you very much, Mr. Jethmalani. So the Congress, the opposition parties are basically saying that, look, this shatters any kind of separation of powers between the executive and the judiciary, that this is some kind of political overreach. How do you respond to what the political charge is against this visit?
I respond with the utmost amusement, Zaka. I mean, the separation of powers theory is that each wing of the government, the legislature, the judiciary, and the executive, have distinct spheres of power, they're extremely strictly separated. That's fine, but to say that the separation of powers theory entails social distancing is absurd. I mean, I don't know to what extent they're carrying this. I mean, can a politician not go to a judge's family function, a wedding of his son or daughter, and vice versa? I mean, it is utmost rubbish. Separation of powers doesn't mean that, I have a feeling that anything to do with Hinduism is a red rag to these critics.
I'm just going to come to that point in a second, but what they're saying is, like, look, there have been instances where when Dr. Manmohan Singh was Prime Minister, or earlier Indira Gandhi was Prime Minister, yes, they've gone to social functions, but usually those are social functions either by the Supreme Court Bar Association or official functions where the CJI invites the Prime Minister of the day. Nothing like this, where the Prime Minister has gone for what is a private event at the residence of the Chief Justice, and that too a puja.
I wouldn't even blink at something like this. What is wrong? I mean, we do it all the time. I get invitations whenever I'm in Maharashtra. I mean, Ganesh is especially, the Ganpati festival is especially big event in Maharashtra. I mean, one of the most revered deities there. And we get invitations, everybody gets invitations all the time, not just, dignitaries, from different people who say, welcome, just come and do an aarti at our Ganesh Puja and take darshan. And, we unblinkingly go in these 12 days till Visarjan. So they're really making a storm in a teacup. They're bereft of issues. And as I said, anything which remotely has to do with Hinduism is a red rag to these people.
So do you reckon that the reason why we're seeing this sort of meltdown on Twitter and elsewhere is because D.Y. Chandrachud, who was held up as this liberal poster boy, is seen, doing a puja, and that too in the company of the Prime Minister? Is that why this meltdown is happening?
But, I don't think that being imbued with religious devotion to a deity is contra-liberal. If that's their conception of a poster boy liberal, well then, they're completely misconceived.
So you're saying that this has nothing to do with, let's say this was the wedding of one of the children of the Chief Justice and the Prime Minister went, right? Then there would have been less outrage or the same amount of outrage?
I don't know. I mean, with these people, frankly, they're unpredictable. I can't say whether there would be less outrage, more outrage, or no outrage. It's just very arbitrary. I mean, look, I have my own view. This is an attempt to pressurize. It's just an attempt to put pressure on judges, right? So that they are conscious, and the next time round they'll be a little more careful. And when there's a politically controversial case, this happens all the time. They put the judges on the mat all the time to keep them under pressure.
But tell me this, so the Justice Chandrachud, I think, has about a couple of months before he retires, and he probably has about a handful of judgments to pronounce before he retires. So all of those judgments, will that not be colored from the prism of whether it's favorable to the opposition or favorable to the government?
Well, if your ideology is blood red, then yes. If you're a die-hard, in the mud Marxist, then yes, you will be. I mean, you may say that, but because, they don't believe in religious occasions at all. They're atheists, most of them. So anything to do with religion, as I said, is a red quote, unquote, rag to them. Most of these who are taking this up are of that ilk.
No, the matters on
released-
which
to be released-
judgment has to be pronounced in the next 2 months before the CJI retires.
Yes.
Let's say, and I'm sure there are many matters where the central government is
Yes.
also a party. If those are favorable, then again they'll say, look,
Yes.
this is the reason. There's a link between the Prime Minister and the CJI. And if it is against the central government, again they'll say the same thing.
Yeah, Zaka, I completely agree with you. I'm in vehement agreement with you that this is all, I'm sure that they have some irritation against Chief Justice Chandrachud for something which some public interest litigation, misconceived though it may be, which they brought before him and didn't get the results, right?
Okay.
So, they take it out in this manner.
And
It has
one
nothing to do with separation of powers.
One
This
fin-
has nothing-
one final
that
thing that
grand,
they-
that grand, yes.
No, one final thing that they are saying is that, look, we've had recent instances of chief justices right after retirement getting post-retiral benefits. Some of them have been made governors, some of them have been made Rajya Sabha MPs and so on. So maybe this is a precursor to some post-retiral benefit for Justice Chandrachud. It's an insinuation that they're making.
Well, that's an I'm not saying I'm pro or against pre-retiral benefits. I mean, certainly there should be a cooling off in my view for anything. But this is just idle speculation. This is pure idle speculation. And I don't think Justice Chandrachud would be desirous of any post-retirement sinecure, frankly. I mean, the little I know of him is that he would like to do some arbitration work at best. I mean, I don't think he's interested in any public office or any sinecure.
And one final word, do you see this, so the opposition using this to sort of color whatever legacy that Justice Chandrachud will have when he demits office, when he retires as the Chief Justice?
Yeah, if you're saying, is this the outcome of petty bitterness and disappointment? I tend to agree with you, yeah.
Okay. All right. We'll leave it at that. Thank you very much, Mahesh Jethmalani. Good to talk to you as always. Thank you very much for joining us with your forthright views on what you described as a bit of a storm in a teacup.